Hello and welcome back to Culinary Haven. A few weeks ago I went to Finland again. I love the country and I love the food. And from this trip I brought an excellent breakfast dish called Karjalanpiirakka or Karelian pies. The dish is originated in Karelia, a historical territory that lay between Finland and Russia. Karelian pies are small pasties that consist of rye crust filled with rice porridge. Traditionally is served with munavoy, which is butter and egg spread. In my opinion, it's just absolutely perfect breakfast dish. You get your rye bread, you get your rice porridge, and you get the egg and the butter. Let's begin. The dough for Karjalanpiirakka is very simple. It's just rye flour with a little bit of wheat flour, salt and water. The filling is rice porridge, which is some round rice, like arborio, that kind of rice, and some water and milk. And we'll start with preparing the filling because we need to cook the rice porridge and then let it cool, and then we'll make the dough. To prepare the rice porridge, we'll need 1 cup of round rice, 2 cups of water, 2 cups of milk, and a teaspoon of salt. Let's prepare the porridge. So we, in a medium-sized pot, bring 2 cups of water to a boil, then add 1 teaspoon of salt, pour in a cup of rice. Turn it down, give it a little stir, wait until it starts boiling again, and then turn the heat down and cook for 10 minutes, stirring occasionally. And so it's boiling again, and we'll cook it for 10 minutes. Turning the heat down and cover with the lid. Let's check. It's been 5 minutes. The water has somewhat evaporated and been absorbed with the rice, so I'll give it a stir. And put the lid back and cook for another 5 minutes. Now, the water is all gone now and it's time to add the milk. We're adding 2 cups of hot milk, just to save us time. It doesn't have to be hot, but just make it quicker. Give it a good stir. It looks like it's way too much milk, but it isn't. We'll bring it back to a boil and turn the heat down a little bit, and in 10 minutes it will be all very nice, thick and creamy. Whilst it's cooking for 10 minutes, make sure that you come and check every couple of minutes, because you need to stir it to prevent the milk burning on the bottom and the rice sticking to the bottom. Now it's boiling again, so I'll turn it down to a very low heat. Give it a stir and leave it to cook for 10 minutes, stirring occasionally. It's been 5 minutes, and a little warning there, don't put a lid once you've added the milk, or don't leave the spot, because it might just go and spill over. Just stir it every couple of minutes. It's getting thicker and thicker, and in less than 5 minutes now it will be ready. We are almost there, just literally 30 seconds to go. It's very nice, thick and creamy, and it will be even thicker once the porridge cools down and becomes the filling for our pies. That's it, it's ready. Time to turn the heat off. Now, the porridge is ready, and I'll transfer it into a bowl so it cools down quickly. That's it. And now we'll just put it somewhere cool to cool down so we can use it as a filling for our pies. And now we'll prepare the dough. We'll need 2 cups of rye flour and half a cup of plain flour. Just very little, gives a better crispier crust. We'll sift the flours, although it's not easy to sift rye flour because it has large particles in it, but we'll try anyway. Try to sift it together. Half a cup. So it's 2 cups of rye flour and half a cup of plain wheat flour, and 2 teaspoons of salt. Set them together. All good. And the last ingredient is a cup of cold water. Just stir it to start the dough. We're looking for a stiff dough for this recipe. Let's do it by hand. It's an old recipe, no machinery, just your hands. Actually, at this point, I'm going to dump the dough on the worktop and finish it there. And just like any dough, keep pushing and pulling, just getting it all together. Using a bench scraper if needed. Very rustic, very simple dough. It's a little bit still too wet and sticky, so I'm adding a little bit more flour, also a mixture of rye and wheat flour in the same ratio, just to get the right consistency. Like I said, we're looking for a stiff dough. And a tiny bit more. We're almost there. And this is it. The dough is ready. Just that simple. This is it. The dough is ready. This amount of dough will give us 16 pies. Now we'll divide this dough into 16 equal pieces, which is not as easy for me as it is for most people. I'm not very good at dividing things into equal parts. So divide it in half, then in half again, and then this into 4. Something like that. And the same here, in half. and then in 4.
Listen to them alone.
And now this small piece of dough will roll into a ball. Just little balls. Flour your hands so it doesn't stick, and just this. And put them all on the worktop. It's a very rustic recipe. They don't have to be absolutely identical. In my case, they won't be, but it's fine. We're rolling them into balls because then it will be much easier. It will be actually a perfect starting shape to make those pies. You'll see. And 16. And now I'm going to cover them with the linen towel so they just don't dry. And now I'll prepare the baking tray and also preheat the oven. These pies should be baked in a very hot oven. The maximum temperature that your oven has, set it on it. Mine is about 250 Celsius, and that's the temperature we're going for. This is it, the porridge. The rice porridge has cooled down and it's very nice and thick and creamy, just the perfect consistency to fill the pies. So we'll prepare a baking tray lined with baking parchment, and we'll take one ball at a time and roll it out into a somewhat oval shape, like so. The crust must be very thin, like very thin. Filling in the middle, press it down a little bit, fold the sides up and crimp here, crimp there, and crimp the edges. And now they're going into the preheated to a very hot 250 degrees Celsius oven for 10 minutes, and then we'll give it a wash with a mixture of milk and butter. I'll tell you about it in a minute. And then they'll go back in the oven for another 5 to 10 minutes until they're all golden brown. And now we'll prepare the milk and butter wash for the pies. In 10 minutes we'll take the tray out of the oven, and we'll have to heat the milk, melt the butter in it, mix it together, and with a pastry brush brush the pies, including the filling, all over, and put it back in the oven for another 5 to 10 minutes. And then when they are ready, we'll take them out and give them another coat of this butter and milk mixture. The pies are almost ready, and it's time to prepare the munavoy, the butter and egg spread. I'm using 3 hard-boiled eggs. You can have more or less, depends how much you want, and you just roughly chop the egg with a fork. It's a very rustic dish, and there is no rules. Any way you like it. If you want it smoother, you can chop it finer. That's good enough for me. Put it in bowl, and the same with the rest. To this we're adding about 60 grams of soft, very soft butter, and salt to your taste. Usually you would make the pies in the evening and let them cool until the morning, and in the morning you make fresh Munavai mix. Just cook the eggs and mix them with the softened butter and have your breakfast. It is a little bit time consuming, but it's so worth it. Just try it. So it's been 10 minutes and now the milk and butter mixture ready for the first wash. So we will go all over the crusts of the pies and the filling. Just yesterday, I found true love, but it passed my way. It's love I made. I know I have no regret. I found true love. And that's them ready. Look at them, how gorgeous. And now the last wash, the second and the last, with the milk and butter mixture. And don't worry, they are so hot right now. They will not be soggy, they will be just perfect, and this butter and milk mixture will soften the crust, but it will not make it soggy, it will make it actually perfect, because they are so hot that they're still cooking. Here they are, Karjalanpiirakka, Karjalan pies, the perfect breakfast. They are very delicious, they're nutritious, they are wholesome, and I dare say addictive. Thank you for watching this episode of Culinary Haven. Please leave your comments below and let us know if you made them. Until next time, bye.